Hello and welcome back to the Degen crew, where I'm using Polymarket to find misprice prediction markets, and I'm trying to grow my account. The first one I want to talk about is Apple. Apple had its earnings on April 30th, and I was purchasing that Apple would beat their earnings. So here we are. Apple earnings for a profit of $970. I wanted to redeem it with you guys because I did a video on this last week talking about their earnings and specifically the Mac Mini. So if you want to know about the Mac Mini, watch the last video. Apple beat their earnings. This wasn't the size that I wanted it to be. I was trying to buy it a bigger than this. So on top of this, I was also purchasing on Hyperliquid, just their stock, not using any leverage, just buying spot price, just to make this position a little bit bigger at the same time as having this open on Polymarket. So yeah, I wanted to redeem it with you. Here we go. Sometimes the fireworks are a little bit slow, but we're redeeming $970. As predicted, the fireworks are slow. If there was a bet for how long the fireworks would take, total of 9% win on that prediction. I'm not going to post about it on X. So, what's next? Specifically, do I want to go over will the US confirm that aliens exist before 2027? Not yet. Will the Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup? Or I'm just going to go yes on that. That one's a pure gamble, but I'll explain that one another time because I have been trading in and out of that position. Fed rate cuts by December 2026 meeting. Will Trump be out as president? No, the one I want to go over with you guys right now is Waymo. Waymo IPO before 2027. So we'll go into this. This market is companies that will IPO before 2027. So, for example, there's SpaceX, Anthropic, Discord, OpenAI. So the question is, will a lot of these AI companies go public beforehand? Right now, one that I'm watching is OpenAI, especially with the court date that's going on. They're selling at 30% yes, but depending on the outcome of this court date, I don't know if I would buy that or right this second. I would be waiting for the outcome of Elon challenging OpenAI in court based on whether or not they transferred from to a private company versus a non-for-profit. If they did that correctly, Elon also funded them a ton of money to even start up the company. So I wouldn't be purchasing that one right now. I'd be waiting for the outcome of that. But also, if SpaceX IPOs this year, then it's going to be a race for the other ones to IPO. I had bought some no on SpaceX to IPO at the beginning of the year, but I think stuff has changed since then. But I bought it so cheaply that I'm just letting it sit there. But yeah, there's a ton of companies here you can look at. If you have a thesis on or an opinion on why a company will or won't IPO, definitely send me a message. I'm curious to hear your opinion on some of these companies. But the one I'm betting no on or buying no on specifically, is Waymo. I'm saying no, they won't IPO before 2027, and I can explain why. Let's hop into the sheet. First of all, what is Waymo? If you don't know what Waymo is, Waymo was created by Google in 2009 as an internal project that spun out as a separate subsidiary under Alphabet in 2016. So Alphabet does this all the time. Whether they buy other companies or have projects, they usually put them in as a subsidiary and Alphabet, so they hold on to the company. So Waymo is a self-driving technology company that builds fully autonomous vehicles and operates robotaxi service called Waymo. Think of it as a driverless Uber. You open an app, request a ride, and a car shows up with no human driver. It started as a secret self-driving car excuse me, It started as a secret self-driving car experiment in 2009, led by engineers who had won a DARPA autonomous vehicle challenge. Today, it operates in multiple U.S. cities, including San Francisco, Phoenix, Los Angeles, Austin, and Atlanta, and is expanding internationally to London. So total funding raised, they've raised over $27 billion across multiple rounds. The first major external round was $3 billion in 2020. The second round was $2.5 billion in 2021, and the third round was $5.6 billion in October 2024. And specifically pertaining to our prediction, the largest round ever, they did $16 billion in February 2026, the biggest single funding raised in autonomous vehicle history. So who invested in it? Alphabet, Google's parent company, is the dominant backer, putting in $13 billion of the $16 billion round alone. Outside investors, there's quite a few of them, but the valuation, I'm not going to name every single investor in Waymo, but some big names like Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia Capital, Fidelity. There's some big names backing them. The valuation in 2020 was $30 billion, in 2024 was $45 billion, and after its latest funding round, it's $126 billion, so 180% jump in just 2 years. Current scale, they have 500,000 paid riders per week, and they operate in 11 US cities, with 20 more planned for 2026. And they have a $355 million annualized revenue in early 2026, growing at 127 year over year. Not yet profitable. So Bruce, why would you be betting that they don't go public? And specifically, if I hop into the sheet, some of the main reasons is historically, Google keeps everything in their parent company. So they build companies, they buy companies, they don't necessarily IPO them. They usually keep them internally and integrate them with what they already have. They take their data and integrate it with stuff that they already have and make one big company. That way they can have everything in-house. They don't have to sit there and have multiple companies where they have to report to all their different stockholders through different companies. This is just one entity, kind of like Berkshire Hathaway, where everything's under one roof. Kind of like what Elon wants to do supposedly with Tesla right now, where he's integrating it with SpaceX and X. But yeah, so historically, the point of that is they don't normally IPO their companies. So they keep them all internal. The second part of this is they just raised $16 billion in 2026. So normally you don't raise $16 billion and then IPO it the same year or a month afterwards. There would usually be a little bit of a time delay there. So currently there are no IPO filings. So there hasn't been a single IPO filing for Waymo this year. So yeah. Approaching profitability, they're not yet profitable. So the only thing that sort of leads people to think that Waymo might IPO is external investor pressure. So most of the money has been put in by Google, but there is potential for external pressure for a liquidity event eventually. But no one knows necessarily when that liquidity event would be. Also, there's other ways to get liquidity out. They could buy out the other shareholders. They could give them Alphabet stock. They could. There's definitely other ways that if someone really needed their money out, Google and Alphabet could make that happen. So all that to say is, I was putting this at about, if I was looking at this for a 3 to 5 year time horizon, I think they would IPO at about a 20 to 30%. But if I was giving it specifically in 2026, where this prediction is for, I would be giving it only a 3% chance, 3 to 5% chance. So I was buying Waymo specifically at about 80 cents. And right now it is at 97 cents. So all that to say is, if I'm putting it at a 3% chance that they will IPO in 2026 by 2027, if I'm putting it at a 3 to 4% chance, and this was selling at a 20%, it was selling at a 15% discount, then I'm going to buy this at the 15% discount and start selling it right now into where it's reached my target price. So I will buy more of this if this changes. If I go into the graph, so pretty much anything under 95 cents I should be buying. So I'd be buying the no, anything under 95 cents on the no. So right now it's selling at 97 cents. So for example, if it was selling at 93 cents, I'd be buying. If it was selling at 91 cents, I'd be buying. 94 cents, you might get to feed out a little bit there. It's not worth the 1%, but anywhere under 90, between 90 and 93 cents, I should be buying, and anything under 90 cents is a steal, in my opinion. So that's why I was purchasing Waymo at 83 cents. It already closed the gap. I'm up on this position probably about 15%. But I'm still looking to buy. So when this goes up or down, I do keep an eye out on the news, specifically if there's any Google or Alphabet filing that they will be spinning off Waymo. I do check on that. I have no open orders right now, but I could add some in. And historically, my history here is I was buying 81, 85, 82, 85 cents about 17 days ago. I even think I was going, almost 1 month ago I was buying at 85, even at 89. So yeah, anything around 90 cents, and I'm a buyer of Waymo to not IPO before 2027. Hope that was helpful. Just a little bit more explaining where I'm thinking some things are undervalued, and that is why I think Waymo is undervalued. So thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your day.